Hey guys, it's me, Mario. Today we're going to continue Arachnid, the king of spiders. Hope you're doing well today. Chapter 8, NANOOK to the rescue. Turn down the music a bit. It's a bit too loud. NANOOK to the rescue. Part of the cave wall came crashing down, revealing dazzling daylight as the snow monster thundered inside. The ground trembled. "NANOOK!" Tom cried in relief, seizing Storm's reins. Elena ran beneath a rocky overhang as rocks bounced around the cave floor. Tom clung to his position near the roof as NANOOK leaped across the web towards the great spider. Arachnid screamed and reared. The razor-sharp teeth on his belly glinted in the bright sunshine. He shot ropes of silk straight at NANOOK, who shook them off as if they were flies. There was a flash of NANOOK's claws and an unearthly screech from the spider. Tom gasped. NANOOK had slashed into Arachnid's 6 eyes, blinding the beast. "Now, Elena," Tom roared. "Save Silver. I'll cut Ida free." The giant spider screeched and thumped at the cave walls with his legs. NANOOK growled and beat her chest in the chaos. In the chaos, Elena dashed from her rocky hiding place and leaped across the web, bouncing and staggering on its sticky threads. With her knife, she slashed at the silk that bound the wolf, then dragged Silver away from the web's deadly embrace to safety of the cave floor. "Silver," Elena sobbed, throwing her arms around the wolf's shaggy neck as he gently licked her. "I'm so glad you're safe," Tom whistled for Storm, who cantered from beneath the overhang. Then he dropped into the stallion's back. Storm whined in triumph. "While there's blood in my veins, we can do this," Tom shouted, holding his sword high. He turned Storm towards Ida and dug his heels into the stallion's sides. Storm cantered across the uneven rocks, bounding over the cracks and crevices. The cave was shaking as the 2 great beasts fought. Arachnid was lunging and snapping, fighting with all 8 legs, as NANOOK swiped the air with her fearsome claws. Tom drew himself from the saddle and scrambled across to Ida. The cave walls groaned. Cracks appeared, snaking from the floor to the roof as pebbles rained down from the ceiling. They didn't have much time. The woman was bound so tightly that all Tom could see was a pair of terrified eyes staring out at him. How could he free her without cutting her with his sword? Thrusting to the power of his gauntlets to help him, Tom let his sword fly. His arm felt truer than it had ever been. Slash, slash. Thank you, oh. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Ida sobbed as the web fell away from her. How can I repay you? How? Tom, Helena screamed. The roof is falling in. Take the animals to safety, Helena, he shouted. Go with my friend, he said to Ida. She will keep you safe. But what are you going to do? Stammered Ida. Fight the beast, Tom said grimly. Helena grabbed Ida by the hand and ran for the flash hole in the cave wall created by NANOOK's entrance. Silver raced at her side. The ground shuddered as the beasts swayed and struck at one another. Even without sight, Arachnid Arachnid was matching NANOOK blow for blow. The spider's razor-like teeth tore into NANOOK's flesh. Scattering red blood in the rocks. What if NANOOK was unable to defeat this monster? Tom wondered. If it was too much for the great beasts of Eventia, then what chance did he have? But Tom knew that every time he faltered, Eldru would be lowered even closer to Malwell's pit of tar. He had to stay strong, for Eldru's sake. If he could mumbling. Bleh. But Tom knew that every time he faltered, Eldru would be lowered even closer to Melba's pit of tar. He had to stay strong for Eldru's sake. If he could just get back to that stalactite and tear it free, Tom leaped into Storm, bending low over the stallion's neck. He galloped over to the stalactite he had tried to break away from the cave roof. Storm skidded to a halt as Tom scrambled to his feet as on the stallion's broad back. He tensed his muscles and once more felt the golden leg armor fill his legs with strength. Then he jumped, soaring over the heads of the fighting beasts. Tom landed hard on the stalactite, the golden gauntlets helping him to grip. The stalactite shuddered, jarred by the impact. Tom could see a crack forming where the calcite spear joined the roof. He drew his sword and hacked at the crack. One more blow, Tom panted, striking it again and again. Just one more. There was a groan as the stalactite tore away from the roof and fell, with Tom still clinging to it. With a crunch, the stalactites plunged into Arachnid's back. The beast let out a roar of pain. Tom drew himself free as the spider ached his vile body in agony. Hurling himself around the cave, trying to get the stalactite out. But every time the beast struck a wall, the impact drove the stalactite deeper into his flesh. At last, the huge spider gave one final roar and disappeared. In its place, thousands of tiny spiders skittered madly across the rocks. Arachnid had been defeated. But Tom had no time to celebrate. A booming noise sounded above him, and great chunks of rock began to fall from the walls. Chasms opened at Tom's feet. Everything was collapsing. "NANOOK!" Tom yelled, pulling himself to his feet. "We must get out of here before it's too late." The great snow beast roared and began to run towards the daylight as the mountain caved in. And that was chapter 8. These pictures are very good, so I'm gonna show you them. Here's NANOOK punching Arachnid, blinding him. Here's Arachnid and NANOOK fighting. This artwork is pretty awesome. And here is Arachnid getting impaled by a stalagmite. This artwork is very awesome. And yeah. On the first day I will be reading the last chapter of Arachnid, King of Spiders. Can't believe we're almost done with this one. There's one more chapter to go. Well, hope you guys enjoyed my read through Beast Quest. I enjoy reading it. But yeah, hope you guys watch more videos of me reading the Beast Quest series. And I hope you check out my art on Deviant Art, Dragonmastermario. No spaces, there's just one word. So but yeah. Excuse me. Hope you guys like the video as well. And I hope I will see you in the next one. Alright. Bye-bye.